It wasn't the first outbreak. I think it was, at least from my memory, it was the third outbreak of civil unrest. And my parents just could not take anymore and felt like they had to get us out of the country. And so we, that was the main reason we had to leave Liberia and fled to the neighboring country, the Ivory Coast.
Africans Abroad.
Africans Abroad, the podcast. Hello there. Welcome again to another episode of Africans Abroad, the podcast. Before I even start, of course, I have a lovely young lady beside me. We're gonna go more into that. But this is what I'm calling the first episode of second season. I was so fortunate enough to have 10 wonderful guests on the podcast. And I've been taking a little break to be able to regroup. Starting this season off with a surprise, and actually something that shouldn't be much of a surprise. It's been a long time coming. If you've been watching, you know that I started this off with interviewing people, Africans living abroad, and without giving my own story. And it's something that I've been trying to figure out how to be able to do that. And right now I see it as the most appropriate time to start the first episode of second season with Miss Fiona as a guest host who is gonna interview me. So I'm excited about it. Very excited about it.
Let's just get into this, okay? Let's just get into this because I have been waiting to put you in a hot seat.
Yes, you have.
So, Christopher Ricks, host of Africans Abroad.
That's me.
How are you feeling today in a hot seat?
I'm feeling very good.
Okay.
Feeling very, very, very well today.
All right, good.
I'm glad to be here.
Good. So like he said, I'm kind of guest hosting today. My name is Fiona. I'm actually visiting Norway from Canada. So I'm from diaspora to diaspora. So this kind of just fits in really well. So Christopher, tell us about yourself.
Right. I am I'm just a simple guy from Liberia, West Africa. Was born and I don't know if I can say partially raised. I left Liberia when I was 10 years old. Living in Norway at the moment with 2 children, a boy and a girl. And I work as an engineer, mechanical engineer, and I do this, Africans Abroad, in my spare time. Apart from that, I'm somebody that loves my family, my friends, and people in general. So that's me in a lump sum.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna jump even deeper.
How deep?
I'll start off easy. I'll go easy on you. Let's talk about why you left Liberia.
Ooh, yeah. So I left Liberia when I was 10 years old, or going on 11, 1996, because of outbreak of civil war in Monrovia, the capital city, where we were residing. Me and my family were residing at the time. It was in the first outbreak. I think it was, at least from my memory, it was the third outbreak of civil unrest, and my parents just could not take anymore, and felt like they had to get us out of the country, and so we, that was the main reason we had to leave Liberia and fled to the neighboring country, the Ivory Coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, did you leave from Ivory Coast to Norway?
No, I lived in the Ivory Coast for 4 years, and that coincided with civil unrest that started in the Ivory Coast in the year 2000. That caused us to just, it was reason enough to leave the Ivory Coast too. So we had to flee again, and went to Ghana, where we also lived for 4 years until we relocated to Norway.
Okay, so you landed in Norway. Why Norway?
That's a good question. I don't believe we had a choice. When we first started off, because my mother worked with a women's organization that was connected to the United Nations, and that's how she was able to get this connection of getting her family over for an interview with IOM, and there were representatives from Canada and Norway.
IOM?
IOM, yeah. International Organizations of Migrants, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we went through a couple of interviews with my family, and they said that our family was going to be selected to come to relocate either to Norway or to Canada, and it ended up being Norway. So we didn't
you
really
could
have
have
a
almost
choice.
been in Canada with me.
I mean, it was a 50-50 chance,
almost.
really.
It's close.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I found you.
What do you mean you found?
I'm kidding. Well, a little background. We've known each other for a long time. I did know you in Ghana.
Yes,
And so we lived in Ghana at the same time, and then we kind of reconnected our friendship like about over a decade ago. So, yeah, I found my friend.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You found my friend.
There we go. Okay, so you came to Norway, and I'm here in Norway. I know the language, the universal language is not English. So how was that coming? And you came at what, about 18 years old?
I had just turned 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was that, 19 years old, coming and having to immerse yourself into a culture that there was this huge language barrier?
I was fired up because I had some incidents with school and high school and all of that in Ghana, and it was pretty much because I knew that there was this relocation gonna happen. So I was fired up, especially when it came to having the opportunity to get an education in the developed world. So I found out that the only obstacle was the language. I had always lived with only one language, which is English. Maybe you add a half there with Liberian colloquia.
And you picked up some French along the way. You lived in
I did.
For 4 years?
I did a bit, but then I started to forget it after moving to Ghana. But I still have some French. Yeah, that's true. I still have some French until I came here, and then I think after the first month we were thrown into language school, and it was I liked it actually. I mean, I was young at the time. I was really fired up I just wanted to ask so many questions. Because it was like, I knew that university was right around the corner. And the only thing that was stopping me was getting to know this language. And I mean, why not? And I think I already from learning French a little bit, I realized that I was pretty good on picking up languages. So yeah, I ran on with it. First year, they do have a very good language program.
Okay.
That if you really pay attention and follow the curriculum, within the first year they have the amount of
foundation.
Pretty much the foundation of the language, and then you can continue from there with the grammar, with the further on the grammar and other stuff. So yeah, I took 1 year and then I took another year of other courses, other subjects, and after 2 years, I was able to do what was called a concentrated high school diploma within 1 year. So I already had high school from Ghana, so it was mainly just touching up on the subjects here in the language. So yeah, within 3 years, I would say that I had the language, the skills enough to apply for university, to start working, and that's where it continued. So I would say almost 50-50 I learned the basics within the first 3 years, and then going to university, I got to learn a lot more when it came to culture and just
with mixing with Norwegians.
Yeah, so it was challenging, but I actually enjoyed the process. I believe that it was because of the age in which I came and how, it was just a point in my life that I was ready for more.
So do you think at this age you would relocate to a country that you had to learn another language?
I'm joking. If it was for a good cause, I think I would. I think, and I say it with a lot of precaution because I've never been the person to take to jump off the ledge and take risk, and that would, at this point in my life, it would have seemed a bit risky to do that. So, but where I am too, I believe that if it was for the right cause, I could have done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're here, you learn the language, you start university, and what led you to mechanical engineering?
So all through the first 3 years, especially after the first year, I did a lot of reading and research because the weird thing about here is that you try as an immigrant moving here, you would think that the information you need is easily accessible from the local Norwegians, but it's not, because it's not their reality. They didn't move here to start all over. So it was very limited, even in the schools, to find out from the teachers and other folks in the school to find out get the right information. It was just like, you were led to another direction that you didn't want to pursue. So I started to look it up myself, look up several universities in Oslo, around the outskirts of Oslo. At the time we lived 2 hours north of Oslo. And I landed with university in a town called Kongsberg, where they're offering a mechanical engineer or engineering program, first bachelor, and then they had an extra 3-year program for masters that you could do you could partially do your studies in the U.S. And that, right away, took my interest because I had always had the desire to experience some form of life in the U.S., even though I felt I was pretty okay here. And frankly,
is that the Liberian in you?
I'm not really sure. Maybe.
Almost all Liberians want to experience the
maybe,
US.
but I didn't think experience it was. I didn't think I wanted to live there permanently. Okay. But it was also the fact that it was pretty challenging here when we first came, where it was like, things were slow compared to other friends that relocated to the U.S. and Canada. Things went really slow, mostly because of the language and just if you weren't living in Oslo, a black person in local communities were rare. Come on, it was difficult to see that. So it was somewhat challenging. It was just something like, okay, maybe I just get to stay here until I get my legal papers, and then I could relocate again. So that initially was the thought. So I just thought I needed to do as much as possible in the 7 years for me to get my passport, and then I could look at other options. But mechanical engineering was. There were other engineering courses that I could have pursued, including I really took a look at programming and cybernetics, robotics. But we did a pre-engineering course, and I found out in that course that most of the guys that were starting off with cybernetics and robotics they were already used to coding and programming from home. And it was a pretty huge jump to start that. So then I got to find out that mechanical engineering was pretty much like everybody was starting at a pretty level field. I liked technical. I thrive in the technical era anyways.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that's how I ended up with that, and went to a university, also University College, for 3 years. For 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the story.
That is a lot on mechanics and a busy man.
Yeah, well.
So you were busy in other ways too, yes?
Yes.
You mentioned you have 2 kids.
Yes. Within that period of time, let me see, I started working, and then got together with who is my ex now, and we had our first child in 2013. So that kept me grounded quite a bit. Of course, it was my first child and about to start a family together. So just went on with the family life, and that takes 2 years away pretty fast. What was the question again?
You were pretty busy. You said you had 2 kids. Let's talk about it.
Yes. So
your first child was born in 2013?
My first child was born in 2013. A boy. He's now 8 years old, if you did the math.
Name?
Darian Alexander Ricks.
Okay.
And my daughter, who is the last at the moment. She was born in 2017, Adele Christine Ricks, and she is 4.
Okay.
They live with me part-time. It's joint custody, it's called in English. yeah, so.
So
and
what
then
you're
other-
saying is your daughter is the last at the moment. And right now you have 50-50 custody and you are open. You said at the moment. So are you having more kids?
is that in the
Are you having more kids?
is that in?
You said at the moment.
Yeah, well, I said at the moment, yes. But
So you're hopeful to have more kids?
yes,
Okay.
I am. 1 or 2.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, it's a busy life. So even though it's 50% of the time, I get to, when I have them, I work shorter hours and try to focus on them as much as possible. Don't usually have much help with anything, but that's, I don't know if I'm supposed to. So
Single father
yeah,
life.
that's what it is. But I enjoy doing it. I enjoy my time with them. It can sometimes be a bit challenging. My son.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So your son,
Yes,
8 years old.
my son Darian, 8 years old, he was diagnosed with autism when he was 3, and he's mostly nonverbal. It's improving at the moment, but it's very, very challenging because of his both nonverbal and lack of intersocial
Cues.
yeah. But it's something that we've gotten to live with and gotten to adjust to, and just had to learn to deal with the situation as it comes. He's mostly a very sweet and calm little man, but he has his moments, and I believe that's the same with every child.
Every child.
Yeah. So
It's just his way of communicating. Those moments are just different.
it's different, very, very different. And you have to also see it from his side, from his perspective, because imagine having all of these expressions and want to say a lot, but he's not able to put it out there. And it's also typical that they don't see the world the way we see it. They even noises, the slightest noises would disturb them even way more than I would understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit challenging, but yeah, we try our best. Thankfully, well, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I live in a place called Skien, which is a bit about 2 hours south of Oslo, and we used to live in around Oslo 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, but we had to move to Skien because here we found a special school for him. So we pretty much had to shift our entire lives here to be able to cater to his needs, and thankfully his mom is really, really awesome at dealing with him too, and we work really well together in finding the best way for him. So we managed to move here, get him in a school, a special school. It's one of the only schools in Norway actually that offers those services.
So what's special about this school?
It's a school especially it's connected to another junior high school, yeah. But it only has place for 25 students, and it's from 1st to 10th grade, and only 25 students. It doesn't have regular classes with students in it like normal schools. All the teachers there are equipped with dealing with autistic kids that have autism. And you have some situations of kids getting enough help or being equipped enough to be able to leave that school and go to ordinary schools. Okay. But if they're not able to, they have permanent space there until grade 10. And they really get great help and follow up there. Okay. Yeah. So that's really.
So I think if I remember quite correctly, you were saying to me that the 25 students, each student has their own classroom, and that classroom is designed to suit the needs of that student.
That's right.
Which is really special. We do not have that in Canada.
No. They have their own, you wouldn't even call it as classroom, it's like their own space. They, according to their age, they're able to design it. Some got sofas in it and stuff with what they need, their iPads and just a lot of different stuff that it's their own space. Yes, they get together during lunch and other classes when they have, but it's a lot of one-on-one.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
So as an African in the diaspora with a child who has special needs, has there been any challenges where you feel like you being African Norwegian is kind of hinder some of the processes and accesses you might?
I would say yes, to a huge extent. I would, but then again, it also has to do with where you live, the people that's supposed to be helping you in these situations. For us, it seemed more like it was because of where we lived. The difference was huge after moving to Cheyenne. Even they even have a department at the hospital that's specially for kids with autism, and they have lots of help there with professionals. Where we lived before, it was closer to Oslo, but still it was really, they had no clue at all. They had to bring in people to come and help, and even we had to take steps in the daycare to make sure that people were informed, because other kids started to call him names and that he would steal their stuff, and he couldn't communicate. He wanted to play with toys, and he couldn't communicate, and he would take them. I remember this incident where I was picking him up, and this kid called his name, and he was a thief, and the mother was like, he is, So right away we got in touch with the teachers and called a meeting, and just communicated with them, and after that it went a lot better. But
and that can be really taxing as well, to always have to explain, whereas now you're in an environment where it is understood. So there's just a lot more grace extended to him, and
definitely. And that's something that you grown accustomed to it. You grow accustomed to it, because in almost every situation, that's like at the playground. And he's reacting different to other kids, or wanting to play with them.
I did get to see this firsthand when I went to the indoor play area with you and the kids, and I think he wanted to go on a trampoline, but you know what? I was very impressed that he was waiting his turn. He was waiting his turn, but this girl just refused to get off. But he could not pick up on that cue that she was not leaving, and she looked at him, and he just stood there. He'll put his foot on the trampoline, and then he bring it back, and he waits, like he's letting her know, right? But he's not picking up on the nonverbal communication she's giving him back. And so I was just standing watching, and the other miss that we haven't really talked about yet, his sister Adele just came and pulled him and said, "Let's go." And I was just watching because I kind of wanted to see how they were both going to interact with each other in that space.
Yeah.
And I was just really special to be able to see how protective she is of him.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better at that, and then now that she's getting older, she's the big sister. In most cases, there would be some instances where he would step up.
She's also his bully too.
Yeah, she's bully too.
She protects him.
But yeah, she should be the only one to do it.
She's the only one that's allowed to do that.
Yeah, but that's where I would say having him and her God first. That's where the strength comes from. Seeing the collaboration between them, seeing the love that they have for each other, and she is so protective and understanding about his situation, and he's understanding with her too, because she really bugs him.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful relationship there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, so that's...
So Miss Adele is how old?
That was 4 years, what I said. I think I mentioned that before. Yeah, she's 4. She's going to start her last year of...
Daycare.
Daycare, yeah. She'll be the last year of daycare in fall. She's looking forward to starting school. She's already saying it. So yeah, she's a special one.
You looking forward to her starting school? Are you excited for that chapter 2?
Yeah, I guess I haven't given it much thought. I mean, it's over a year. So
you think you have a long way to go?
I plan a year ahead.
You think you have a long way to
so
go? You don't have a long way to go.
I haven't given it much thought. But yeah, she's looking forward to it, and that's good. I think she would love it. She's excited to learn. We get to test her out a little bit and really see she's a smart little girl and very excited.
That's good. So you have 2 kids with your previous partner.
Yes.
Is your previous partner an African?
Yes. She is from Rwanda. She has been living here for I don't know, many years, even longer than I have. I've been here for 18 years. And yeah, she lives in the same town, Cheyenne. As I said,
because you all had to move.
Yeah.
So Darren can get into that school.
Correct. And we really get to work together well for them. She is very awesome with Darian, with both of the kids, but specifically with Darren, Darren's situation. I couldn't have asked for anything more, because she was really on it. You know, we had to
a big advocate.
Yeah, she had to like push, and I tried as much as I could, but I would give the hats off to her.
It's a mother's touch.
Yeah.
It's a mother's touch.
Yeah.
Mama bears, you don't play.
So, yeah, very, very blessed when it comes to that. So, can't complain at all. It's wonderful.
That's really good. It's really special because having a child with special needs puts a lot of strain on relationships, and the fact that you guys have been able to establish this co-parenting dynamic and it works, and you know, you guys get along, like you're concerned about her well-being and vice versa. That's really, it's really good. Y'all should keep it up.
Yeah. Sure.
I give you a little clap.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so you moved back. I mean, not back. You moved to Cheyenne, which means you changed your job.
Yeah, I did.
So are you still in hydraulics?
No, I changed switched over to. I still work as a mechanical design engineer, but I now work at a company that works. We deliver induction system. It's called. It's just you have induction system in most homes in Norway for your for cooking. Now we just deliver at a huge scale to yeah. So that's what I do. I design those machine parts and for those systems.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. Love it there. It's a good company, good local company. So yeah, I thrive there.
Okay. That's awesome. So, dun, 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 dun. You have a good job. You have your beautiful, amazing children. You have a wonderful co-parenting relationship with their mother.
That's right.
Everything just seems to be going kind of smooth for you. And knowing you, who do not really like attention, how did we get to Africans abroad?
Ooh. Yeah.
I mean, I know you said it in the intro video, and if you didn't watch the intro video, go watch it, because it kind of touched on.
Yeah.
Go watch all the videos, by the way. But how did we land here? How did you say, you know what, I'm just gonna step outside my quiet life and put myself on camera to give people the platform to tell their stories?
Wow. The short version would be somewhat of a period of time where I had a spiritual awakening in a way. And I'm not saying that, I woke up with a dream and nothing drastic like that.
Conviction.
It was a conviction in my life where I felt like I needed to turn things around. I've always been wanting to had a desire of doing more in my life, and I was going through a period of I don't know whatever I'm supposed to be about this.
Let's get deep and vulnerable. Put it all out. Well, as much as you can. And I know, so I will know when you are like leaving, little pieces.
So I was going through a period of reflecting in my life where I was going down a path that I did not desire for myself. I was a single man. I had a couple of encounters that left me a bit.
What encounters? Like encounters with the Holy Spirit? Which encounters are we talking about?
Okay. It was at least relationship wise, or
your love life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In my love life, I kind of experienced a bit of hits in a way that I needed to
reevaluate.
Yes, reevaluate, regroup, and that led to me going back to asking myself what's important in life. What is all of this? What is all of this about? And that landed me back to my faith, to my faith in God, where the two things that stood out to me was love and creation, design, and two things that I'm deeply passionate about. I love love. I've always desired to love in the right way, even though I got to find out that I wasn't exactly doing it in the right way, that I did not necessarily know how to do it to love in the right way. And then creation, design, where is all of this from? I know that I sit every day doing work at, putting stuff together at my work, and all of this comes from a conscious mind. Everything that I put out there comes from intelligence. So therefore, I have absolutely no doubt that all of this that exists in this world did not just come out of out of accident.
Right.
And not that I did not know all of this before, but I just went deeper into those thoughts and reconnected with my faith, and started to have a personal time with God for a couple of months. And it was just working time with God and limited God of social media totally.
Which you were barely on, so.
Yeah, that's right. And limited my connection with people, actually. It was just family and maybe very close friends.
So you limited your relationships with the women that were in your life?
Yes.
Because you still kept your close friends and family.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it that way, but yeah, I did.
Come on, we're putting it out.
So it was within that period of time that, because like I said, I always wanted to do something more, but with whatever life I was living, I just kept so busy in doing the wrong things, doing things that was not fulfilling, I would say. And I think down the third month of the year, around March or something, that's when it just came up in me that I always had this. I always used to be a part of local organizations, like from Liberia, Liberian organizations within the community, where we used to put things together, and there was always this obsession of doing things for back home, Liberians back home, or Liberians or Africans, in Africa. And I just had this passion. I always used to ask the question, what about here? What about trying to, the more we do here for ourselves, the better we're more equipped we are to be able to contribute to Africa on even personal levels.
Put your mask on before you can assist somebody else.
And I just felt like there were so many things going on here, so many information, so people doing so many great things, and then other Africans or Liberians were, falling by the wayside, struggling, and there was so much information that could be passed between each other.
Right.
And it wasn't. I felt no. So through all of this COVID time, where I started to listen to podcasts and watch a lot of stuff going on YouTube, that's when the idea came to mind that I can, instead of just asking those questions to people, I can step up and do something about it.
You can create that platform for it to be heard, on a grander scale.
That's right. And so I started with the thought and started to share it with my close friends and family, and including you. Including me. And I knew nothing about any of this stuff. I just know that I can get around with a computer. So I started off with University of YouTube and started to learn about several stuff. So within a month or two, I was able to write down a plan and find the different apps that I needed, buy gear, But purchased the gear that I needed. It was a lot of try and error with, equipment, but I gradually got it started in June of last year. And it's been good.
Do you love it?
I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to the folks that I've talked to and getting their stories out there and the connection that just.
I'm just wondering though, where's my interview? Where's my interview?
It's gonna come. It's gonna come.
Oh, it's gonna come. I don't know. Like 2 seasons in, I don't know if I want to grant you an interview. Because I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, you're on the show.
Tell your people
right now,
to talk to my people, and then we'll see.
I'll do that.
We'll see.
I'll do that. But yeah, that's how this all started. And here we are. I've done 10 interviews and taking a little break and trying to regroup again to shoot for more.
So, what is your vision for?
Right. The vision is first and foremost to just get to share as many stories as possible. I'm still planning on doing it virtually as it's been because of the time aspect. I have a whole life on the side of this. If it was to blow up more, then could see what happens there. But it's mainly to be able to establish connection between people. I'm getting to know new people along the way, and I am very passionate about getting stories out there, sharing information. I feel like Africans living in the diaspora it's actually a fact that if we were to work together, it could be the most powerful country in a way, African country in a way, because we are so many that's living out here in the diaspora, and now we have technology that brings us close together. So businesses, collaboration, just being able to interrelate with each other and work and support each other's ventures is actually what I burn for. So anything I can do to contribute towards that, which is what I believe I'm doing now, is the goal. Absolutely.
I would say you're doing a really important piece, and you probably didn't realize this part when you're doing it, but what you're doing is a very, very integral part of a lot of African cultures, storytelling. That's how we pass down information. And so you're really almost tethering yourselves to, our history, really, because this was really how our knowledge was passed down. And you're, carrying it forward on like a virtual platform, and it's pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're a dope guy, I think.
Thank you.
I might be biased, but
I believe you.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you your usual questions you ask your guests. I'm going to start with, what are some of the privilege you've experienced that's directly related to you being an African in the diaspora?
I would say the fact that I have had it both ways. I've been able to experience life in Africa. I've been able to experience life here, and I'm able to combine the best of both worlds. And given that I have, where I live has given me so much opportunity to be able to take advantage of. It's a huge, just the fact that I was able to go to university and without there was only the language barrier. That was it. So Yeah, that alone is a huge privilege to be living here and be able to have this life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add another one. You have a child with special needs, and having the type of access to resources that you have here versus a lot of our counterparts who have children with special needs on the continent.
Yeah.
The gap is so vast.
True. Really, thanks for mentioning that, and that's to show how much we take for granted. So absolutely, that is, I can't even like express how thankful I am and how blessed I am to have that. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's what I do.
That's
Be
what
a
you
great
do.
host. What is the worst experience you have encountered as a Black man living in Norway?
In Norway. Ooh.
Or you know what? Because you do travel for work, I'd say in Europe, because you have traveled around Europe for work. So, what is?
I mean, I've had the experiences here and there, but there's one that stands out that it's not like it didn't do anything to me, but it's just sometimes you just get a slap in the face that
You're reminded. You're
reminded that you're not. Yeah. And it was in Hamburg with two friends. We're two blacks and a white French dude that were just roaming around Hamburg city that night and going from clubs to clubs.
You guys were bar hopping in your younger days.
Yeah.
Are you reminiscing on that right now?
Anyways, so twice we encountered a situation where we were walking into the club, and me and my black friend were stopped, and the white friend walked past, and that was all fine. I mean, we've experienced stuff like that here, where they feel like if they've seen one black man there that's caused some trouble, it's like they're already it's like everybody. But that wasn't what got to me. But the fact that this guy came back and just said that, oh, it's fine. They're with me, and that was enough. Yeah. And it happened twice.
Because we're a representation of our whole race. All our action is a representation of the personality of our entire race.
Yeah. So that was something that stood out. I've experienced some other stuff here that but it doesn't really. There was this instance where I was with some friends from school in a bar, and I was a wingman to a friend of mine. All the other guys left, and he was trying to check out a girl, and I was just sitting at the table, south of Norway. And these dudes guys at the other table started singing a song, a nigger song, and like they started singing and singing. And I just like sat and did not pay any attention, and until my friend was done, got the girl's number and stuff, and then we left. It was just I mean, those things don't take anything off me, but it's just those reminders. You get to live here, you get to learn the language, you speak the language, you get along, get around.
Remember,
but you just you get these.
Don't get too comfortable. Get comfortable, but not too comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the most act of kindness you have experienced?
Friends from school, for example. There was this time I had trouble with my car. I was living 2 hours away from Oslo. Trouble with my car, and these guys took an entire day, drove from Oslo, came to Kongsberg, We like took the entire day and helped me work on the car, and it was kind of embarrassing that we were in engineer school, and I just knew nothing about about cars, and yeah. Another instance was
Give me one from a stranger.
from a stranger. Ooh,
Ooh.
yeah, there was this lady. Like I was on my way to work one day, and this was around Oslo, so it was very very like rare for something like that to happen. But walking uphill, I took the bus to work, and walking uphill to work and to the job, and she just came and stopped and opened her car door and was like, "You going to work up there, right?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Hop in," and just like out of nowhere. I didn't ask. I didn't like, but she just stopped, and that was I don't think I think she worked somewhere in the same.
So
Yeah, she had seen me in there, but it was just out of nowhere. I never saw her again.
Oh, that was nice.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good one.
yeah.
Okay, now we're on a good note. Give me 3 words that describe your experience as a African in the diaspora, or your experience that sum up your experiences for with your let's do past, present, and future.
Blessed,
Okay.
loving tribe. I would say purposeful future.
Okay. Let that sink in a moment.
Yeah, I think it covers it
Okay.
without saying so much.
Okay. So we are in coming out of COVID period almost, right? So what has COVID taught you? Like, what have you learned from going through COVID? Like, I just feel like as millennials, we've really survived a lot. Like, we were almost allegedly about to probably survive World War III. But so what has, living through a pandemic taught you?
It has taught me that everything that we deem as secured isn't. Like we've, especially us living in the West, have the illusion of our life of having this extra safety net.
False sense of security.
Of security. It's not. It's taught me to depend on my Maker, to depend on God, have more faith that in Him more than anything.
Yeah.
And just to be of service. That life is all about being a service to others, and not about myself. It's not really not about me. So yeah, it's not about me. It's about being a service to others and help building a legacy for me and my future wife and children.
Very insightful. Okay, so I guess a question that I've seen you started to ask all your guests.
No.
It has to be done. Are you ready? You need another sip. So
Okay.
you use Christopher Ricks,
Yes, ma'am.
host of Africans Abroad.
Ooh.
Are you single?
Oh man.
I don't know why this is my go-to music today.
Yeah, too many movies. Well, you know, I still want to track this out. Yeah.
I mean, I know, but you.
No, I am not single.
Ladies,
I,
he's taken.
well, somebody is taken.
Is that you?
Well, yeah, I'm taken, but somebody is taken too, you know, so it's good. Anyways, no, I'm not single.
I mean, this episode is about you.
It's
not
about
somebody.
me. It's about me. So, nope, I'm not single, and this is I guess the beauty of this episode and diving into my life a bit more. I so happen to have the love of my life doing the interview today.
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yes. Yes.
Did you say what did you say? You don't have to say it twice. You don't have to say it twice. You're good.
We are engaged to be married.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So.
To your best friend.
Yes, to my best friend.
Yep.
It's exciting. Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. Building legacy together, building our life together, and yeah, this already feels like purpose.
That's
So.
nice.
Mm.
I would kiss you, but I'm trying to be professional, you know,
Yeah,
because you didn't even come for an interview for me. So, yeah, I can't. So, yeah, he's not single.
No, I'm not.
So sad. Well, not for me, but, you know. Sad for any, you know, kingdom queens that were out there hoping this kingdom king would come and, you know. Are you hiding your face, honey? So, yeah, thank you. This has been a very beautiful episode with our very gracious host. I feel very honored that not only, yes, I am engaged to you, but that you are allowing me to be the one to interview you.
Of course.
And so, thank you.
I feel like this is exactly how it was supposed to happen.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching again.
I don't know if I'm gonna let you do your closing, your usual closing.
It's just until the next time.
Until the next time.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Mwah.